Okay, so office hours for February 8th. I still can't believe it's February 8th. And we're not going to talk about the Super Bowl or the red team because they're both red or the weather. I don't know. We all survived, right? So maybe it's supposed to rain still. I don't know. Um, anyway, hey Nova, how are you?
Good. I'm just here just to see what people are talking
Hey,
about.
what's
Not, I
going
don't
on?
have any specific issues.
Yeah, so like I said, RPPR people were had some RPPR stuff. So I don't know if any of that stuff will come up. I know somebody had some publication issues that they had to put in a ticket for, but I haven't heard back from that. Um, but yeah, and I'm looking for I'm looking forward to the consortium meeting on Monday. So I sent out a draft, the letter. So to you, Kelly, and did I send it out to you, Nova? Yeah. So
Yeah, you sent
if
it to
there's
me. I
any
got it.
feedback on that, we're going to be running in a red tape, to be honest with you about that, because I've let our leadership know, but now, there's red tape as far as whose letterhead is it going to go on. Um, so I don't know. We'll see. Um, it's always something. So, hi, Maria. How are you? People don't like it when I just call them out.
Hi, I'm doing fine. I guess this is just my second or first time.
Okay. Are you from UC San Diego or a different campus?
Oh, from UCSF.
Oh, okay. Did you have any questions for the group today?
None. Haven't heard anything. Um,
So what's your involvement with T32s or training grants?
Mostly the awards that I should not say manage or under my portfolio are T32 and fellowships.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you do like the fund management part of it? You do the
No, I work in the contracts and grants. So I do the award setup in RAS and
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're like on the
post
you're
award.
like you're a post award like central person, central office person?
What do you mean by central office? So so I do the award setup once OSR already queue it in Cactus. Uh so it during the award setup, the award number is created in PeopleSoft or
Okay.
RAS, and then for T32, it includes the federal reporting. So I'm the one who submits it in PMS. I
Mm-hmm.
coordinate the department research ad. Um, I also do the termination notices, submit them in Xtrain
Okay.
together with
Okay.
the PI and the sponsor, and then also do the closeout process.
Okay. So do you have any questions for the group today, or do you just chime it in to say hi and see what office hours is all about, or
Yeah, trying to see what's up.
so yeah, we're gonna create a Super Bowl pool. You want to get on our Super Bowl pool?
Um,
She's like, no, I'm kidding. I don't have a Super
like
Bowl.
like bet money.
Yeah, like bet money, like gambling. We should probably not be recording that, but yeah, gambling. Yeah. So probably not a good idea. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't really bet.
Yeah,
The
I
only thing
wouldn't know
I
who to
bet
bet
on,
on anyway.
the
So
only thing I bet on is my buffalo chicken dip.
yeah, ooh, that sounds good, Marissa. You can send me that recipe.
Yes,
Yeah, we're
I
actually
will.
having a party on Sunday, so probably just mostly be family and lasagna and stuff, but it'll be fun. So
Mhm.
but I kind of want the Taylor Swift team to win. I don't even know any Taylor Swift songs, but I just like their little romance. It's so cute. I don't know. It's lame, but I like it.
Mhm.
Jill, I have a couple of questions.
Oh, good. Okay. Awesome. Let's hear it.
Okay. The first one is we submitted a renewal last May, at the end of last May. And in ERA Commons, the note says council review completed, but they still haven't put anything about needing an RPPR. And so I've started preparing it, and Irene, I think, is in denial. Because you and Jill have said, yes, you will have to do an interim RPPR. And it's like, but it's already, February 8th, and usually it's due March 1st. And so I don't know what to do. Nova's got her hand up.
Yeah.
What's your,
So I've done lots of these. I've been a T32 coordinator for like 18 years now. So, if you look on
and
the,
what's your email address? Because I'm going to pester you.
put it in the chat, so everybody has it.
It's tricky because there's an S in there. It's Nova or NS Barkley, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, do the interim RPPR, it will show up when under the status of the last grant year that was awarded so you'll have to
It's
look
not there. Can I share screen?
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Mm. Oops. I gotta move this thing. Can y'all see?
Okay, so the grant one that was actually awarded, and you're saying it's still pending? Okay, so you'll see under year, whatever that one that ended in 2018, it says interim RPPR. That's where you're gonna click there.
So, I'm sorry, say that again, please, Nova.
Okay, so under available actions,
Uh-huh.
where it says the year that ended in 2018. Oh, no, wait. Okay, so that's the previous one that says interim RPPR.
Right. That's the last we submitted.
So your council review, so the last one that ended in 6/28/23, is that what you're looking at? That's the last year that was grant awarded, correct?
That officially, yes. We're now in year 15, and we submitted the
Okay,
renewal.
so year 15 ended in 2023, correct? It says 6/28.
No. We're in year 15 now. It will end in
That
June
ends-
of 24.
Yeah, June 24.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not going to show up until after it ends, likely. Because the interim ones or the final ones aren't due until 3 months after the end date. Because if you're not awarded, then you'll have to do a final one instead of an interim one.
Oh, damn, you're good. Okay,
So it's
all
not
right.
gonna
That's
show
very
up
helpful.
likely until the end date, because you're in this pending period, if that makes sense.
Awesome.
So likely what's gonna happen is if you get renewed, you won't do an RPPR because it's a
Okay.
new award. But if you
Kind of
don't get,
fading, your voice is kind of fading out a little bit, Nova. Can you
is that better? I'm closer to the screen.
That's
a
a
little bit
little
better.
better.
Sorry, I'll talk louder.
Thank you.
So if you get awarded, you won't have to do an RPPR because you get awarded. But if you don't get awarded, you'll have to do a final RPPR, and that won't show up until probably close to the end date, like close to June. And it'll say FRPPR, like final RPPR.
Right. Yeah.
So it's likely that it's just not showing up yet because you're not that close to that date.
Well, they
And
show.
well, that's
sorry.
pending, but usually that takes like, if the council review is completed, do you know what date the council review happened?
It
If you
just
click on-
happened on January 23rd.
Yeah, so I'm waiting on one that I put in for radiology. And usually that was reviewed on January 23rd as well. And usually it takes up to 3 to 4 weeks for them to release the NOA if you're getting the award. So I would suggest, and this is what I'm doing for mine that was reviewed on the same day. I'm waiting till next week, and that'll be 3 weeks. And then what I would do is ping the program officer and say, do you have an idea as to when the NOAs may be released? Because
Okay.
if you're not getting awarded, they won't necessarily tell you you didn't get it.
Oh, really? Well, that
In my
sucks.
experience, they don't always do that. So what I do is I give it about 3 weeks since after the council review is completed, and then I email the program officer and say, do you have an idea as to when the NOA is going to be released? And then they'll say likely X date, or sorry, you're not getting funded. They may tell you that, or, that's what I would do.
Thank you. That's very, very helpful. Like I said, Irene was saying, I'm not going to do one. And I'm like, I think we're going to have to do an interim one. So, I wanted to be prepared, but if I don't have to do it, anytime soon, then,
So the interim ones and the final ones are due 3 months after the close date.
say that again, please.
The interim and final RPPRs are due 3 months after the end date. So they would be due, if your end date is June 30 or June whatever 28th, then it would be September 28th is when it would be due.
The interim one.
Or the final one if you don't get awarded.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Well, did you get your score? I thought this was in the fundable. You guys have a just in time on this already, I think, right?
I have no idea what that means, Jill.
Oh, okay. But I thought you got a fundable score on this one.
Yeah, we got
It is in the summary statement.
Yeah, you probably don't have access to the summary statement in Commons for McCulloch, but he could
Okay.
give it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, usually it's emailed directly to the PI, the summary statement, and it has the score, and depending on what the score is.
That's the score on the
Whether or not-
science part, right? Because we got a 10.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I knew it was a fundable score. Yeah.
Yeah.
So likely you'll be funded, and then you won't have to do the interim, because part of your renewal is putting in a progress report in the renewal text. So that would be good. One less thing to do.
Wait. See, now I'm confused again. So if we get funded, we're still going to have to do an interim RPPR. Then why do we have interim RPPRs in the list here? Let me get back to there. Or see this interim
So,
here?
it may have said that, but you didn't have to do it because they may have put it in there before you actually got funded. So, and when was that? 2018? It may have changed since then as well. I can't recall.
That
the
was the
last-
year that we got, and yeah, that was the last time we got a renewal.
So.
Because this is now 5 years later.
Right.
2023 was 5 years later. So we submitted the renewal May of 2023.
And I guess it also depends on the institution. They may require one, but even if they do, it's not my experience that they do get funded.
You know what I bet that was? That was a 10-year interim, not a 5-year.
Oh,
You
that
think?
makes sense. So likely you won't do it, but even if you have to do it, it won't be due till September.
Okay. That's the important part. I can put it off until September.
Right,
Okay.
just watch it and see, but my experience is part of the renewal is a progress report that you have to actually put in as part of your renewal. So that's gonna be your progress report.
Fantastic.
the previous, because it covers all 5 years, the progress report that you submitted with the renewal.
Right. Awesome. Okay, so Irene was right. Okay, so I'm glad I didn't put too much effort in that yet. Okay, good. Thank you so much. And then my other question was, I have a big struggle because the progress report is due in March and the reporting period doesn't end until June. And so,
We're talking about the other T32, right?
no, well, either one, because I have to do them both.
Oh,
So, yeah, for this particular question, it's the other T32. The one we were just talking about was NIBIB, and then
uh-huh.
the one is NHLBI. And when when the report is due is March 1st, and then the reporting period doesn't end until June 30th. And it's like, do you project and say this is what we plan to do while at the same time reporting on what you didn't get to report on the previous year? Do you do both forward and backward
So I
reporting?
don't know, like, so
Does
I
that
don't know.
make sense?
Yeah, but you just want to report on those that have been appointed during this period. But I don't, that's a good question. Like if you didn't report on, say, 3 people that weren't reported on from the last period because they were appointed late. That's a good question. I would
I'm not talking, you're going even further than I was thinking, but you're right. I need to consider that. Because I have historically just reported on people who were appointed at any time during that time. That part I got okay, but activities, if I turned in something last March, but I did an activity last May, was I supposed to include it as a forward event on
So
last
I think you
RPP?
could do supplemental materials. I don't know if you could do it in this case for an activity like that. That's a great question, though. I don't know 100% of the answer to that. Bart, Nova, have you had that happen?
So this is an NHLBI grant T32, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Both
so
of-
I have an NHLBI T32 that I've been coordinating for, we're in year 17. No, yeah, we're in year 17 now. For my RPPRs for that one, and for others, I've always just reported for what's happened during that reporting period. Say, for example, July 1st through June 30th. I have not reported for stuff that happened before that. And I've just given them updates as far as we've gotten in the year, even though, it hasn't ended, it won't have ended. Say it's due in March for an end date of June. I just report up to March. And anybody and I report on the fellows that have been appointed during that time period only and not before or after. That's what I've always done with my NHLBI one, and it's never been an issue.
But if I have a big symposium in April, which report do I put that on? Because that's a major activity for us. And if I turn in my RPPR March 1st,
I would say I'd put it in, if it's going to happen after the March 1st date, I would say there's a section, you can just put planned activities.
okay.
And that's what I do. I put anything big or, I put planned activity. There's a section that says, what are you planning to do in the next reporting period?
Right.
But I wouldn't put it under that. I'd put it under, what happened during this period, not under that section. I can't remember what section it is. What do you do? But I'd put like in B4, I guess it's B4 where you put all the updates for all I would put it in there and say,
Okay.
Planned activities include whatever.
Okay, because it's like, okay, otherwise I'm losing 3 months of reporting every year. And I don't want to, short the trainees that opportunity to talk about, something great they did in April, May, and early June. So,
Right,
okay.
I'd put planned activities and then just put it in there.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'll shut up
covers
now.
everything.
Thank you so much. Nova, I'm going to be pestering you and Jill both. Thank you so much.
Hey, that's what we're here for.
Yep, totally want to help.
Thank you.
Hector, do you have some questions? I know you guys are working on a big renewal right now.
Yes, I do. I'm working on the RPPR right now.
Oh, that's right. You guys have the RPPR due 3/1 or?
It was actually due 2/1. So it's a little bit overdue.
So there's that. Okay.
But I'm working with Christina right now on B4 section.
Mm-hmm.
And could I just share my screen actually?
Sure.
Is it so for example, we have these trainees that were recently admitted, fall 2023 admits. My question is, should we, and this is the trainee summary, by the way, should we still include these blank sections, or is it worth deleting or removing?
Wait, so you mean include fellowship or that header, those headers, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and you could just put NA if you wanted to, but she should also be giving you a, she's going to give you a description, right? Oh, she hasn't given that to you yet, right? Of her progress. It looks like that's empty right now.
Progress.
That's
What do
the
you
third
mean?
dot down.
Description of trainee scholar research project in progress. That's
So-
the most important thing that they look at.
And there's not, has she turned anything into you yet?
She has not.
Okay, then you need to get on her for that, because if this is out overdue and you need to submit this as soon as possible.
So for me personally, when I do this, I just put none for the things that are none. And I still leave the bullet in there. I just put none or NA. So they all are consistent and look the same that way. If that makes sense. I like the fact that every single person, it's gonna look the same. Whether or not they have things to fill in there. But I think that in my experience with RPPR, the thing that they look at the most is the publications, which is not going to be in here. That's going to be in the my NCBI, and the description of research project in progress. Are these grad students, postdocs?
Grad students.
These are all grad
Okay.
students.
So for most of those, you can put in their like dissertation topic for the research project in progress, even if, they don't have a lot to show. At least that's something, and that's typically what they're working on anyway. So you can put that in if they don't have anything else.
All right. So these trainees are first years in our program. So, right now they're doing rotations. So they don't have their thesis set quite yet. What I've done for some students, something like this. They write for this rotation, and they kind of describe the exact project that they're working on. Is that okay?
That's fine, I think. But you have to
Yeah.
have something in there. I
Something,
think that's
yeah.
perfect.
All right. And I
You
guess
know, my other comment would be to put the actual dates that they're appointed on the grant. Because it says fall 2023 admit first year trainee. I mean, I would put in, okay, they're on there from July 2023 to 6/30/2024 or whatever. I think that's helpful, but that's
Yeah,
just
I
me.
usually put, or if they're current, I usually put start date to present. So they know that they're current trainees. What I put.
so. Something like
Actually put
this.
Oh, no, I would put it instead of fall 2023 admit, I would put it in their parentheses. That's where I put it. I just put the dates instead of saying first year or whatever. Say whatever their start date is to present. Like 6/1/23 to present.
Because in table 8, which is also going to be a section before, it should say in there that they started in the program in fall 2023. So
That's what I would put, exactly what you just put in there. Personally, that's what I put in all my RPPRs.
All right, okay. And
So then also for publications, so technically, because that's all done in my NCBI, you don't have to list any publications here, only if they're like in progress or they've been submitted. Or
Okay.
they haven't been accepted yet. So generally speaking, you know, all that information gets captured in my NCBI unless it's a in progress, or maybe they're gonna publish it soon or something.
Actually, in what I do for that section, and I can show you one I'm working on, but I usually put, because they're interested in what role the people are playing. Some institutions are more picky about this or not, but for publications, I usually put in there like 3 published, 2 in progress, and then I say the role for role is, you know, because that's what they want to look at. They want to look at what they're doing on the paper and not just like put their name on there. Because if you read the actual instructions for the RPPR, it says publications during this period and the role that they played on the publication. So what I typically will put is like 3 published and 2 in progress, role, analysis, manuscript preparation, analysis, whatever they did on the paper. So that shows that they're actually doing stuff on the paper. I have some RPPRs that they look at that and they actually pay attention to that, and some don't, depending. But just as an FYI, you know, that's part of why they keep that in the RPPR. It's, even though the publications themselves are in my NCBI, they actually look and see what the role that they played is. Are they writing the paper? Are they doing the analysis, etc.? Just my personal experience.
okay. And for conference presentations, you know, most of these are first-year trainees. Is it okay to just put conference attendance? A lot of them attended a neuroscience conference.
Correct. Presentations means like you did an oral or paper presentation, or oral or poster or actual oral presentation. If you scroll down career development activities, you could put in, that's where I would put that in, like what they've attended. I
Okay.
would put it under that instead, personally.
I think that makes sense.
If so, I don't know if you have different experience, but that's what I do.
Yeah, it's interesting because if you actually look in the NIH guidelines, actually says conference presentations, but yeah, I think it's a little flexible here. It's not super, because this is part of the narrative. It's not hardcore written in stone.
Well, that's where I would put it. That's me. But, you know,
All right. All right. Well, you know, that was it. I hope to submit finally by today. We're just waiting on some information to roll in.
And have you guys done your training diversity report, and is your table 8 finalized?
Christina's working on that, but let me see. I know that when she has been running the report, there's some error messages.
Yeah, if I could see those, I can help you walk through those.
What would the price difference be? Well, the only day that I need a big.
It's taking a while. Okay, there we are.
Yeah, go up there and go down that. There you go.
Friday and Saturday, it's one of the 25-ish percent. Yeah, I listed it in the document that I initially done.
Table 8.
So on the 28th, you have one group of students.
No, this it should be in.
Eight is an extract.
So if you go back, are you looking for, you wanted to do, so are you looking for the errors in the actual RPPR or errors in extract?
An extract.
Oh, okay, so then, yeah, you have to go back to extract. There you go.
And then Saturday. kind of goes on.
All right.
For the training
Person.
grants, yeah.
Oh, training grants.
Our policy is come out with a.
PPR. Preview PDF.
No, go down. Oh, wait, no, scroll up, sorry, on the left. Right under preview PDF, it says finalize RTD.
Want to finalize before you are sure that it's completely good?
I'm having a hard time understanding, what, Nova?
Oh, never mind, you're just looking for the errors. You're not gonna actually finalize.
No, so missing required data. Okay, the start date in the training section, it was required. Yes, so that's correct. So you need start dates and if applicable, end dates for your training. So if they're still in training, you're gonna have a start date and then it's gonna say yes in training. You don't need an end date. But if they have ended and it's clicked no, you're gonna have to put an end date in there. So you're gonna need to go through all of these trainees and put the information in there.
All right. So
like, yeah, is that one of them right there? Because you can see right there. Okay, they're in training. Yes. Okay, so go ahead and click edit.
they're no longer in training.
Okay, then you need to put no and then the end date. So now, did they graduate?
No.
Okay, so they are in training.
Oh, okay.
So this is the program. This isn't necessarily the training grant.
Okay.
So this is, yes, they're still in training and graduate, the graduate program. So then they're fine, actually. So what was another one in there that was on that list? Benjamin?
Let's see. Someone who graduated.
Well, there was on that error list you had, there was a Benjamin.
Yes. Ben Roberts.
Okay, so just go to that filter table and put in Ben. There you go. Okay, I thought there was a Benjamin in there. Okay, so see how on the right there's no start and end date. So go ahead and hit edit. Now, are they currently in the program?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and click in training, yes. And then when they started grad school, that's the
Okay.
date, not the date when they started on the training grant, the date they started grad school. So
Okay.
it's like September, whatever.
I'd have to double check. Let's see. Benjamin Roberts. 30 years. He's in one.
Okay, then you're good. You should be good.
And research topic as well, or?
You should have a research topic in there. Yeah. I mean, it's possible they don't have one yet, but normally you would have a research topic in there. But that's not going to cause an error.
Okay.
The selecting in training data and the start and end dates, that will cause an error, but the research topic will not cause an error, but it's information you should have.
All right.
You may have to get that from the mentor or the trainee.
Okay. All right. Well, it looks like I have some editing to do.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, I would go ahead and just take a screenshot of all those people you need to fix, right?
Mhm.
And then you can kind of go through each one and figure out their end dates and start dates and stuff.
Saturday, Sunday?
But I did go into your RPPR. Yeah, I would just screenshot that. There you go. Okay, so I also just went into your RPPR and did performed a check, and you guys still have quite a few you still have quite a few of things to do in here. Do you want me to share my screen?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I hate to make it worse for you there.
Oh gosh.
I know. So some of these are pretty easy. So for products, I mean, some of these are, I'd have to look at my
Either late.
my checklist again. I don't know how relevant are these. Usually some of these are just nothing to report. But you would need to answer C5. Here, let me do a screenshot now. And then, yeah, if you can see here, one of them is you need to finalize the extract. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go to the RPPR. They're gonna be able to. So I can't go in and edit this since I don't have delegation. I don't think. I don't even know if I can view it. No, I'm not gonna be able to view it. So you'll have to go in and go through each one of these items here. These are probably just not applicable, not applicable. Or nothing to report, so. But yeah, your section B4, this is the one with the extract. And it looks like you did the training diversity report, so that's good.
All right. So it's just the finalizing the RTD.
Yeah, finally
And-
get that RTD finalized and then all these other questions answered. And did you guys do a KR record for this, I assume?
Yes, we did.
Okay, good job.
I'd say that there are a lot of those things. Section B, you have to, B2, you have to upload something.
Yes.
Section C is usually just answering no. Section D, participants, you may need to put in section D, depending, you may need to upload other support if it's changed. Section D also, you need to make sure there's some effort in there. It can't be 0 because it won't let you complete it that way. It has to be like 0.1 for each person. I'm just going
Yeah,
through.
so section C products, C5, other products, it says it has usually not applicable. So that one's easy. And then for D1, those are individuals who've worked on the project. So that will be the effort for your the PI, Brenda Bloodgold, I believe. So you'll have to put in like a 0.1 or 1, at least 1. F1 is changes in approach. Usually it says nothing to report or describe the changes. So if you don't know the answers to this, have Christina or your ask Brenda. And then section D2 is this is definitely important, the responsible conduct and research that needs to be done for that section. So the PI needs to answer that. And then G6 is human embryonic stem cells. That's probably not applicable. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, it sounds like the PI needs to do some stuff here because section B, that's another PI section. Section B2, that's all that should be on your PI as long as they know that that was their expectation to do this.
All right. I've been filling in for some of the PI sections. So
Oh, yeah, that's, you know what, that's the thing, Hector, you're gonna learn in fund management and research administration. Sometimes we do things on behalf of our PIs
yes.
quite often. Sometimes with delegation, sometimes without. So,
It's a busy time.
yeah, yeah. So, any other questions I can answer for you there, or?
That's about it. I might be back again for a renewal, which is coming up soon.
Yeah, I know you guys have the renewal coming up, and I got a separate couple emails on that, so we can talk offline about that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, let me know if you have any issues with the RTD again, or any of these little questions you got here. But it looks like some of the stuff is PI. PI is
Okay.
going to have to answer, like especially about that responsibility of conduct.
And you know, it's overdue. You know,
It's not the end of the world. I know it's February 8th. You know, the worst that's going to happen is you might get a late notice of award, but you know, this is a non-competing continuation. It's not like it's, you know, a super hard deadline. I mean, it's not something you want to do, but things happen, right?
yes. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you all so much.
Yeah, let me, like I said, keep in touch, and if I can help out anyway.
All righty.
So, anything else? So I will be gone for the next couple weeks. So I don't know if anyone's going to do office hours in my if anybody wants to fill in for me. Nova, do you want to do office hours?
Sure, if you want, I can do it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be out the 15th. I think 3 weeks. I'll be out. 2 or 3 weeks.
So just email me separately. Let me know if there's a specific link you use, or do you just use your own, and then the dates and the times, and I'll.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if when I'm back. I'm back March 2nd or March 4th.
Yeah, I
So-
usually am free this time of the day on Thursdays, so that's fine.
Yeah, so I'll be out March 15th, 22nd, and 29th.
March or February?
I'm sorry?
March or February?
February.
Okay, so February, that's fine. We can touch, let me know if was there anything specific you had planned for those, or just?
No, not really. I think just because of the RPPR, there's so many RPPRs due, you know, 2-1 and 3-1. So I was just kind of keeping it open for stuff like that. Unless you want to talk about something. I mean, you know, I'm always asking people, what do you need to hear about, you know?
If there's
So
something I can do that people want to hear about, I can talk about. Otherwise, I can just have it open for.
we're just, you know, a lot of time it's just troubleshooting, you know, like Hector. So,
Yeah, I'm just finishing my 3-1 progress report, but it's in the hands of the PI, so I don't have anything else left to do for that one.
that's always a nice feeling, huh? So. Okay, well,
Yeah, we can touch base separately. I can make sure I have the dates right, and
yeah, I'll make sure. Yeah, I think that's it. Well, it's 12:45, so if you have any other questions, I see Ava's logging in. I don't know if Ava has questions for me because I know she's in the midst of a renewal right now.
I have a quick question.
Sure, Maria.
How do you guys take out the unallowed portion of the CBR NFA charges? Do you also do it in UCPAT?
So if I understood you correctly, so how do you take out the what charges?
The unallowed.
Oh, the
CBR.
unallawables.
Yeah, CBR NFA.
I believe they do that via direct retro. They have to take them out.
Oh, you don't do it in UCPAT?
You know, is there anybody on the line that does that? Trying to think.
I'm actually the receiving end. Like the department would send me the worksheet, then I will do it in UCPath.
Yeah,
But-
it's not direct retro. It's a, I can't think of the name of it. Cost benefit. What is it?
Benefit transfer.
Yes, I think there's a spreadsheet. But see, you're UCSF, so I don't know if you guys use the same, but you're UCPath, so I don't know if it's the same.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's a spreadsheet that you
Mhm.
submit, right?
yeah. The problem with UCPath, it doesn't have, or the activity period is you know, is not a field that's included in UCPath. So the usual problem that we have, it would always go to payroll suspense. And it
I'm
would-
sorry, I'm having a really hard time understanding you. Sorry.
okay, for UCPath, BCT process, we call it benefit cost transfer
Mhm.
process in UCPath, right? When you have to, it's actually like you do change the account number to where it's gonna be moved on. But the thing is, activity period is an inactive field. It's not in UCPath. So once you submit that and it gets approved, it would go to payroll suspense file because the activity period is inactive. So payroll has to manually put it in.
Hmm.
Do you have the same problem?
I know, I'm sure I could connect you with someone on campus that's had to go through this, but I haven't actually had to do this, but I've heard about it.
Mm.
Yeah, I had to do it in our legacy system, but not in the new, in our newer system. Or I should say UC Path, our old employee link. I've had to do something similar to that, but not UC Path.
Oh, yeah, it's a very tedious process.
But yeah, and I have a really good contact from UCLA. And she would probably know the answer to your question if you want me to connect you to her.
No, it's my question is, yeah, is it the same process? Would she know about that?
She would probably know. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you put your email in the chat and I will I'll email her. Name is Sam and Leda, and then I'll email her, connect you to them.
Oh, okay.
So they're very savvy post-award people. Post-award
Mm.
people.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I will. Great question though. Ava, did you have any questions?
Hi, Jill. Yes, I do. I was actually meeting a couple hours before this one, so sorry for hopping on late. All about table 4 and the different ways that you can come up with direct costs. And we were able to use Oracle to start trying to sort of look things up. We've received a lot of other supports. And so a couple of my questions had to do with that. What somewhere in NIH's website where it provides instructions for how to fill out table 4, we saw that there's an area where you can add pending by putting an asterisk. Is that okay? That didn't seem like I hadn't seen that in any of the sample ones. So that website, unfortunately, is still available. It's not obsolete. So that confused us to no end.
Okay.
I'm
Whose
glad you
website
did.
is that?
It was Becca just looked up like table 4 instructions, NIH instructions.
Oh, and that shouldn't have been on an NIH website though.
I thought it was, but
Okay, because I've always been told that you never put pending on your table 4.
well, not that we
So-
would put any of the pending, but that you would put an asterisk next to the project name, or sorry, project identifier, and then that's to indicate that there's also pending. Okay.
Yeah, I would totally advise against that. If they want to mention it, then they could put it in their bio sketch, like as a
Yeah.
as as like a sentence, hey, I have a pending grant, but I would not, I would totally advise against that.
Okay,
The
good.
only instructions I would ever follow are the forms page on the main NIH website, because a lot of the NIH institutions have their own like instructions that they've created, and a lot of them don't necessarily update it. So the only instructions that I ever would suggest using are the ones on the main NIH forms page. Otherwise,
what
you
we
get
had
so
been
many
using.
conflicting, huh?
That is what we had been using, but for some reason, like when we went in this time and started searching around and getting information from different places, that that came up. And the other thing that came up is should we have training grants also in the table 4, or they shouldn't be? That's okay.
No, that's not considered research grants or research support. That's for a training program.
Okay, so
So
that would be more in table 2
25 should not
anyway.
be listed. T30, any T32.
What about KL2s?
That might be, I think that's considered training.
So that shouldn't be listed for our TPDs that are going to be in our table 4.
Well, so the interesting thing is if you looked in extract, if it doesn't pull it automatically in extract, is it for Colin?
And Audrey, yeah.
Yeah, have you looked in extract if it's on there?
Um,
'Cause if it's, I'm sure it's not on there, but I'm just saying that would be a way to know if it's allowed, but those are considered training awards, so I don't think that K is allowed.
Okay, I'll try to figure that out if that's
Yeah, because they are not receiving, actually the KL2, maybe they do. I don't know. I've never managed a KL2, but are they receiving research dollars for that? I don't think they are.
Well, because it's attached to a UL1, which
Do
is
they
the
have
training
effort
grant.
actually on there?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think in past renewals we have included it, but I don't know that we were doing it right either.
Let's see here.
Okay, I'm seeing some chat messages that maybe don't include it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you don't list it.
And our 25s, are those also?
That's considered a research education award, so you can't list that either.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, it does say it's explicitly an institutional career development grant, which is your KL2, right?
Yeah.
So
But I don't think it's institutional if we have it through our UL1. We used to have an institutional.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean to no. But the best indicator is if you go into extract and you actually looked in, Audrey or Colin's,
Profile. Okay.
In extract, if it's pulled in there, then it's allowed. But if it's not pulled in there, then it's not going to be allowed. But I'm pretty sure that's not going to be allowed.
Okay, I'm going to try doing a lookup.
Sometimes just looking in extract can answer your question, because if you see it, it's not there. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, okay, I guess it's not allowed. So.
Yeah. And then we had like a question of, we were talking about sub-projects, sub-awards, and subcontracts. And so we figured out sub-projects just fine. But should we also be putting in sub-awards and subcontracts?
You could, yes. So technically, some of those will be imported from NIH Reporter if it's in Reporter. Like say maybe they're like a multi-PI.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, like if you have, a prime of going into like say Cornell and we are the subprime, right? Or the subcontract, it's not going to put in there. So you could go in and add it under other support. And you could, this is where you're going to be able to put PI in there, but this is where after the fact you can go in and manipulate your PDF and put like sub PI or project PI, project lead, or something like that.
Okay, yeah. So for those,
but I definitely think that the subcontract should be added. It's just
I already worked
it's just
it.
not always very user
It would
friendly
go
to do it.
down.
Yeah. Yeah, we have like 2 case examples that we weren't quite sure if it should go in or not, sort of in the way it was listed in other support, but what we already knew about the person. It was like they're not contact PI, but like a core lead or something.
Yeah, like, yeah, there's project lead or
But we
MPI.
weren't sure how to find the direct costs then for that person.
So that's that's the hard time. That's the hard part with the projects, right? The multi-projects, because if you look in Reporter, it's going to have the whole total amount. It's not going to be parceled out by, by PI. So this is where it's good to like look on the ledger and just see how much was actually allocated to that project last year, because then you can see their direct cost portion and indirect cost portion. So, or ask their fund manager and say, hey, their fund manager should definitely know, because they should be managing the project.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, not everything is like a report you can run easily. Everything. Sometimes you have to manually, like, just ask people.
Okay. All right, that gets us, I think, to a better place. Thank you for answering those questions.
Anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're at 12:59. If anybody wants to stay on, otherwise I'm gonna stop recording, and you guys feel free to stay on if you have questions, but and I'll be here.